There is something that I haven't told you, but I haven't told you because of the way you would react, what you would think, how it would sound.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're breaking down the lingering questions and unresolved mysteries that stuck with us after watching Ryan Murphy's chilling true crime miniseries Monsters, the Lyle and Erik Menendez story.
You're not chickening out, are you?
Why was it implied that Lyle and Erik had a relationship?
Well, it kind of seems like it was always happening, because, I was always afraid of him.
Your dad or Lyle?
My dad. I was never afraid of Lyle. I always felt like Lyle was my, my protector.
After Monsters premiered on Netflix, one question was on every viewer's mind. Did the Menendez brothers actually engage in an illicit romantic and physical relationship? A few scenes certainly imply that, particularly one set at a party early on. However, by all accounts, it would seem that this was fabricated for Monsters. So why did showrunners Ryan Murphy and Ian Brennan decide to leave it in?
Why didn't you tell anybody about the abuse by your father? You're telling us everything else, but you're not telling us that.
Lyle Menendez actor Nicholas Chavez declined to speculate, feeling that the question was best left for Murphy and Brennan. Cooper Koch, who plays Erik Menendez, gave a more robust explanation, sharing that he believed Erik and that he didn't, quote, think it was intended by the show to make or break that truth.
I can't tell what I am, and I never will be able to tell, is what I'm saying. And yeah, maybe I am a sociopath, and maybe I should have got AIDS, and maybe I'll only like it this way, because with girls, it was like, how could I even know?
Who was Norma Novelli?
Hi, Lyle. I'm just writing to say I believe you. You couldn't have done the things they say you did. Or if you did, you certainly had a good reason.
As the Netflix show accurately depicts, Lyle and Erik were subject to a massive media frenzy following their imprisonment. This was not necessarily a bad thing for them. Despite the overwhelming attention their actions generated, the brothers had and continue to have fans, supporters, and even financial backers. Lyle begins a friendly phone conversation with a woman named Norma.
It's just my story. Explain what it's felt like my whole life to be Lyle Menendez. There's just no way that anybody would say that I deserve to go to prison.
Lyle, that's a really good idea.
This isn't a tribute to Norma Bates of the Psycho franchise. Norma Novelli really existed, and did indeed write a book based on her correspondence with the elder Menendez brother. With that having been said, Novelli didn't get Lyle's consent, and the book failed to make much of an impact on the trial.
I could tell from your eyes the very first time I saw you. If you need anything at all, maybe just even somebody to talk to, give me a call. All my love, Norma.
Why was Lyle going bald?
You are the hypocrite, huh? What about this?
Oh.
Perhaps one of the most heartbreaking Monsters reveals occurs when Kitty Menéndez, engaged in a heated argument with Lyle, walks over to her son and rips his hairpiece off. According to Lyle's court testimony, this actually occurred, and due to the chemical solvent required to attach the toupee, was incredibly painful for him.
How long have you had that?
Like, 3 years ago? 4?
One thing that's unclear, though, is precisely why this was happening. Monsters seems to imply that Lyle's premature hair loss was the result of his high stress levels, brought on by Jose's verbal, physical, and emotional abuse. However, it should be noted that this is fictionalized speculation, and that his genes could simply be to blame.
You wanna be a killer, right?
Yeah.
Right?
What did the last scene mean?
Captain! Yes, sir. What kind of sharks are we getting today?
We're looking at blue sharks, mako, maybe a great white, but they'll be juveniles mostly.
The events of Monsters conclude with Erik and Lyle being shipped off to separate prisons following their 1996 sentencing. The two brothers wouldn't meet face-to-face again until 2018. However, that isn't the true final scene of the show. That would be Monsters' brief coda, which flashes the viewer back to the family's fateful shark fishing trip.
The thing that I needed the most, I had it with me. I had you. And I love you.
The audience is made privy to a previously unheard conversation between their parents, in which the two discuss their plans for the future. Cut to the Menendez boys, where we see them make their final decision. Were Lyle and Erik simply in it for the money? On a quest for revenge? It's somewhat unclear what Murphy and Brennan are implying.
You're not chickening out, are you? You bought the guns.
No.
How many of the events depicted on the show actually occurred?
This is done. This is done. You understand? No more between you two. And you are never to touch him. Not ever.
For obvious reasons, no one will ever be able to answer this question in a way that satisfies everybody. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a monster season focusing on the Menendez brothers. Keeping that in mind, it's still tantalizing to speculate, and the show continually keeps its audience in a state of limbo, questioning who we should believe and why.
Told my cousin she was living with us, and I wanted to sleep in the basement with her so that my dad couldn't come down there.
Although Lyle and Erik claimed several harrowing instances of abuse, little in the way of proof physically exists. Otherwise, the boys surely would have been exonerated. However, new misconduct claims unearthed in 2023 against Jose Menéndez may prove to be encouraging for those who believe they should go free.
I mean, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, Lyle, because finally you are doing something. Great! That's my boy. Good. Erik made his choice. You made your choice.
Was Jose really abused by his mother?
There is something that I haven't told you, but I haven't told you because of the way you would react, what you would think, how it would sound.
Javier Bardem's portrayal of Jose Menéndez was acclaimed by critics and audiences alike, making Jose feel at once like a towering, larger-than-life supervillain and a very real abuser. However, the show focuses heavily on the idea of intergenerational trauma and how it's insidiously passed down. A shockingly raw scene later on in the season depicts Bardem's character calling his mother, confronting her about the abuse he appears to have suffered at her hands.
Mami, ¿tú te acuerdas que yo te dije hace tiempo que yo te llamaría para contarte lo que tú me hiciste pasar? ¿Tú te acuerdas de eso?
Crucially, Jose reveals that his mother had also confided in him about her own childhood abuse. As one of the show's themes is the slipperiness of the truth, and Jose is obviously no longer alive, it's almost completely unlikely that we'll ever know the answer.
Que Marta sabía que estaba mal lo que estaba haciendo y pronto tú le llamaste y le dijiste que era una tonta.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Why did they do it?
I came here to feel better.
And how can I make you feel better, Erik?
I came here so that you tell me I'm not a bad person. Tell me I'm not a bad person.
You killed your mom and dad, Erik.
The million-dollar question. As with the veracity of the brothers' claims, it's likely never going to be truly clear as to whether or not Lyle and Erik took their parents' lives for fear that they would lose their own, or if they were simply vindictive over having been edited out of their father's will.
We're really gonna do this? Yeah.
Of course, it goes without saying that the truth is not nearly so black and white, and that all we really have to go on are court records, testimonies, and the brothers' own account of the evening of August 20th, 1989. The real-life Menendez brothers have consistently maintained that the decision to go through with their plan was spurred by years of horrific abuse.
Was your father physically abusive, Erik?
Which monster's moment shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments below.